There's a square cut into pieces. Can you rearrange them to make an equilateral triangle? Can you? Well, you can hardly do anything else. Have a look. Pull them out, push them together again, and there is the triangle you wanted. Nothing terribly hard in that, because they're all taped together, and they rotate around each other. Well, that's interesting enough. It's a Dudeney puzzle, after the mathematician that worked with it. But have a look on the other side, because that's even more interesting, and that's what we're really on about. It's an ambiguous picture. In the square form, you get an elephant. In the triangular form, if I can just whip it round there, you get a goldfish. Goldfish, and back again to elephant. Well, that's great fun to do, but it's very hard to know how to put those cuts in. So let's start with a square that's cut in a much simpler way. Here's a very crude one. It's a square cut into 4 squares. You can see there's just a cut across there and across there. And if you're reduced to this, working with foam, all you have to do is to cut a piece of foam into 4 equal squares, and you tape them together. But you tape them together like this. By putting them all into that form, running a piece of tape all the way around, and then just cutting the tape at one of those divisions. There are many better things to use. Children's blocks, if you can get square blocks of the same size, are terrific. Run the tape around and cut. You can use empty square containers as long as they're the same size. You just stick them together and you put paper on them, because that's what you're going to draw on. When it comes to drawing these ambiguous pictures, you can start with this interesting and useful fact, that if you join the diagonals like this, corner to corner, corner to corner, all the way around, when you rotate that, you'll end up with, once again, a square there. So that's a good starting point. You can begin to base your pictures on that. For example, if I was going to draw a little man, we'll bring this one in because it's a bit bigger. Let's say I was going to draw a bald man, and I'd draw the bald head around those diagonals, and I might draw a hairy beard down here. I'd know that when I rotated it, I was going to get something approximating the square in the other form. There we are, hairy on top and narrow neck down there. And I could start filling in the bits and pieces as I wanted to, with pencil first and with pen when I was happy with the result. Eyes, and we'll just check where they are on the other form, or up in the corners somewhere where they won't get in the way. You work it back and forth like that, and you'll find when you finish it that you should have a pretty good sort of picture. There we are, upside down, but there he is, the bald bloke with the beard in that form. Rotate it round, and you have the hairy chap, very worried, with his thin neck in the other form. Work from one to the other as you go. Well, you can do all sorts of things like that and have a lot of fun. You'll make a lot of mistakes too. But here is another one, quite different, which I've done here. There's an orange lion, rotate it, and you get a green bird. You can see, if you look at that, how I started off, again, working on those diagonals, and just changed from them from one to the other. So remember, 4 squares, tape them together, cut through one of those junctions, and work your picture into the 2 different forms. Curiosity.